Hi guys, this is Lashette from Scarlet Moon Creations, and I'm back with a new video. This is part 2 of my exploring color with the tarot and oracle. Right, so I admit I don't know how many parts I'm going to get to do since it took me forever to get to this part. This is series created by Christina Rose L, so check out the original links in the description. And this is not meant to be necessarily divinatory, just FYI. It's exactly that, exploring color in tarot and oracle. Do see my part 1, but also do see Christina's videos because there's more details. I'm just going to jump right in. She did 5 different spreads, and that was awesome. This is the second spread. The decks I will be using is the Thoth Tarot deck. This is, I guess, the mini version. I don't know. I've had it for a long time, as you can see by this beat up tuck box. And then the Sea Soul's Journey Oracle cards, which is new. I did a walkthrough of this deck earlier this year, so check that out on my channel. The thing about this deck, and part of the reason why I chose it for this reading, is that it has kind of 4 suits. This is an oracle deck. So, yeah, it has 4 categories or suits, and I chose to use that to my advantage with this reading. I think it worked out quite well. I'm gonna put these to the side. Okay, so this spread is called the 4 Bodies spread, and we have the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual positions, and then down here the tarot, we have the dream space and logic. So I'll put a screenshot of the back of the cards so you can see them as I talk about them. When I pulled the cards, I didn't pick a category to go with each position. Or I should say, I didn't pick a theme to go with each position. I just separated them into 4 piles, and that's what I got. For the physical spot, I got Powerful, which is from the Moving Forward theme. For the emotional, I got Fluid, which is from the Letting Go theme in this deck. For the mental, I got Resilient, which is from the Self-Compassion theme. And lastly, for spiritual, I got Joy, which is from the Gratitude and Awe theme or section. Those are ocean qualities, if you will. And then for Dream Space, I picked the Ace of Wands, and Logic, I got Queen of Wands. Now, I think the way that Christina did it, she had Tarot for those 4, and then Oracle for these 2. I decided to go the other way, in a different way. Partially because of the 4 themes or categories in the, like I said, the Sea Soul Journey's Oracle deck. For the purposes of this exploring color, I'm ignoring mostly the colors on the bottom of the cards because they indicate which theme the card belongs to. That being said, this being a sea deck, it's photographs of the sea in various ways, you expect to get lots of greens and blues, and I guess maybe some purples. So I found it very interesting that the two tarot cards that I picked from a very diverse, colorful deck, the Thoth Tarot, are two wands and two very fiery wands. So we've got a warm color palette that, for the most part, eschews blues and greens, whereas we have more of a cool color palette up here. In this particular spread, Christina was saying to use some books and take the Dream Space card and the physical and emotional cards, or help it to interpret, I guess, the physical and emotional cards, or to compare and contrast, and then the logic card with the mental and spiritual cards, and compare and contrast and whatnot. So she offered some resources. I was able to get my hands on one of them, which I was very happy about. Part of the delay is apparently this book is very popular, and I hope it shows up on camera. But it's Nature's Palette, and I'll put a screenshot of the cover. Nature's Palette, a color reference system from the natural world, which I found very fascinating. The other book I used, instead of the one that she had, because I wasn't able to get my hands on it, I do have this. The 8 Italian Masters. This I got out of the Metropolitan Museum of Art. I had to see the price sticker. I've had this for years. I've barely used it. I definitely have not read it from cover to cover. I don't remember if I got it on my own. I probably didn't pay for this, not gonna lie. But there was a exhibit, I can't remember the word. There was an exhibit of the 8 Italian Masters at the Met while I was in college, and I remember myself and a bunch of other students had gone. We got to attend. It was in the evening. There was some kind of special event because there were like people playing harps and that kind of thing. So couldn't drink because we were underage, I think. Well, at least I was. But anyway, so I got to have this book. And I have looked through it from time to time. I have not read it because this is kind of a lot. And it's tiny. Maybe if it was a bigger book, but then it would take up more space. So anyway, this is for the Dream Space, and Nature's Palette is for logic, right? Nature is real. It's real. Art is coming from a similar intuitive space like dreams, if not dreams. So yeah, let's look at what I came up with. To make this go faster, I did look ahead of time. So yeah, in the color analysis, the powerful card, again, excluding the tags and names or whatever. So the powerful card says, may you be as potent as the ocean. That's nice. Kind of showing this almost roiling ocean. The pale blue broiling into the dark gray is what I put here. Like boiling water is like an infection spreading. Fury, passionate chemical reaction. That kind of thing in a physical way. Then the fluid in the emotional trickling out through the cracks. So before I get to it, it says, may you shift and transform. There is like a waterfall happening here, and yeah, this, I think, coming together, realization, maybe even wearing down, because like it takes a while for water to wear down rock where it can pass through like this. Um, don't go chasing waterfalls. Like, stick to the rivers and the lakes that you used to, but maybe that is not what this is saying. Maybe you should chase waterfalls because it will connect you to something deeper. Um, break through the walls. That's what I got from that. And then resilient, it says, may your soul weather the storms. That's the mental and chill, smooth, like these stones have been worn down. River rocks. And this might be related to the emotional, slowly wearing down, lapping at the edges of, but not intense. Like there seems to be a little bit of movement from the water, but not a lot. Smoothing out the rough edges with the shallows. Lastly, in the spiritual, the joy, may you pursue what lights you up. A warmth in the sunset, the end, possibly. This could be a sunrise, but I'm getting sunset. That's me. Peace, love, joy, a walk in the park or along the shore. Personally, my fave spiritual place is the beach. That crossroads, that liminal space is just where all the elements meet to me. So, it's at a liminal time, sunset, and it reminds me of that Footprints poem, connection. Then, and for the Ace of Wands, for Dream Space, the Ace of Wands, the fire, so much fire. There's lightning strikes to even like set it on fire. There's no way this, which makes sense. The epitome of the suit, the ace, and wands being fire, like fire. The Olympic torch, possibly on my mind because the Olympics are happening in a month or so, and a bat or baton. These also kind of look like tails, but it is what it is. Lastly, for logic, the Queen of Wands, made of fire but controlling it. Like she's looking down from on high, sitting comfy in that chair. Control of the spread of the fire, and there's no lightning strikes, as you can see. It's her throne, but also like her legs and her hair and her crown. Also controlling the phallic symbol, which might be the torch / baton of the Ace of Wands. And then that cheetah is fast, but again, controlling the speed. So, now the next step is to do the color analysis. And first off, I didn't mention this in the previous one because I kind of forgot in doing things. But I don't have a physical color wheel. I can look one up whenever I need to, but I have done enough art classes. I've done the basics several times. If I can, I'll pull out pictures of like me doing shades and tones and hues and color wheels and all of that stuff with paint and whatnot. So off the top of my head, I can give some basics. I did also printing as well as painting, and we know like that's different. Light and printing and paint or coloring are different ways of seeing color. But anyway, so with the physical and emotional and then the dream space, We have like a warm versus cool tones. Cool versus warm. I mean, overall, I said that earlier. Alright, what that means is like blues, greens, and purples tend to be cool. Reds, yellows, and oranges are warm tones, right? The basic color wheel. You'll see these kind of opposites, or they complement each other, but are not analogous, I guess, or harmonious. The way this is, I kind of saw it as a triadic color scheme, where if you look at the color wheel, they're somewhat at a triangle from each other. A triangle angle. That's what I was going to say. All three images kind of show a lot of turbulence. Even this one, like, you see the movement of the water and the waves. But I was thinking more like the rocks, like, they've been chipped away at. Whether it was an earthquake or just here with the water bearing down and slowly wearing away. So, and obviously there's fire and lightning everywhere here, the boiling ocean. So, like I said, for the dream space with physical and emotional, use the 8 Italian masters. And so what you're doing is just looking through the book to see, like, you know, what artwork this might go with. This one, maybe, but I don't think so. Mostly I'm looking for like sea greens and reds and maybe some grays. One thing I have to say is that some of these are not very, what's the word? Bright? I feel like most of these three are brighter tones. Or it might be because of time, they're not as, what's the word? Crisp as they might have once been. Like yeah, or maybe it's the style. So, alright, I want to go back to the cover real quick, because my first thought was, oh, the cover kind of looks like this. And this is Youth with Flowers from a Basket. And I like it better on the cover because I didn't find it in the book. But, where's 482? Here we go. There's like this dark shadow here. And I don't love that. Like, the fruits is what gives me the vibes, right? See, like the apples and, I don't know, persimmons or whatever have you. Give you the Ace of Wands, and then the leaves kind of somewhat, a little bit, give me powerful and fluid, but not my fave. So I kept looking, and there's Saint Mark enthroned with the saints, like I mentioned here. I like this close-up better. And this is by Titian, and it kind of discusses like the new stylistic direction is evident in the way that Titian paints the 4 standing saints, these 4 down here. And I don't want to zoom in like this. I'll zoom in on camera. They have a classic nobility form and a hieratic air, which points to the influence of Bellini. On the other hand, the saints on the left, certainly portraits. These dudes here, close up, are given a very realistic sense of individuality, which is a strong contrast to the Georgian-esque reserve of the figures on the right. Is there a close up of the figures? There's not. But yeah, so these guys see more in shadow, which fits because Saint Mark up there is also partially in shadow. But yeah, you get like the green of this this drapery on the throne that St. Mark is sitting on. The red and yellow, the Ace of Wands, kind of a bit with the sky, and then a little bit of this from St. Mark's bluish thing there. So the sky looks kind of grayish here with little bits of blue, which definitely pulled that in, I think. And then the bright yellows and red of the other guys' outfits. Lastly, there was St. Catherine. Yeah, okay, here we go. St. Catherine of Alexandria, and just her outfit is what's doing it for me here. We ignore the stuff back here. Not too bad though, but like, yeah, she's got some green, she's got some light bluish gray and a nice bright red and a little bit of yellow there, and then even this guy is like a pale grayish blue. So this is I feel fits the best because there seems to be more movement in the wrinkles of her clothes, and all of this, like I said, feels turbulent. Like everything has a moving feel to it, like movement is happening. We just caught a snapshot of it, and I think this one shows that best in, like I said, the creases and wrinkles in her clothing, which is where all the colors are. So that's that. Now we've got the mental and the spiritual logic. This has a more harmonious and complementary color palette. Like still a little complementary. There's blues in here, but this joy has some reds. Gives a little bit of purple there because there's some reds and oranges, and so this feels like a complete thing. Like if these were paint swatches, I could be like, oh, I see how I can put these all in one room, or decorate a room with different prints. The oracles feel softer, chiller, to balance the more sharpness of this logic, this queen. I know what I'm doing. I'm in control and passionate. So for this one, I'm going to show you the ebook that I'm using. I love this little color wheel thing they have. Not the page numbers, but the different shades in this. And what this book is like a reference system for the natural world. Like there's all these colors, and then someone went and found them in nature with animals, plants, and rocks or crystals. See? So there's some examples of paintings and things like that. Right? Now, to start, let's look at Resilient, and I have them bookmarked. When I compared the colors, for Resilient, the bluish gray and vetiver blue. So this is the page for the bluish gray. And again, I'll try to put the screenshot on here so you can properly compare. The bluish gray is ash gray mixed with a little blue, it says, and you can see it on the back tail of the back and the tail of a covert's wood pigeon. There's some kind of plant here which can't really tell, crab maritima, but I'm not sure what that is. And then in limestone, carbonate sediment rock, sea kale, that's what the plant is, sea kale. on the back side of the leaves. And the mineral, you can see it a little bit in 2 pieces of Vesuvianite are embedded within it. So like this here in the middle. So that's kind of what I was looking at with the rocks more so. And for the water, again, remember we're ignoring these blocks of color on the bottom that just indicates which theme the cards go in. Verditer blue, excuse me, is I think what fits here best. A Berlin blue with a small portion of verdigris green in it, which fits to me because I was definitely looking at the verdigris green as another option. And yeah, so where can we find this? It's visible on the breast and feathers of the blue mannequin, the one on the bottom there, and then on some of the petals of a cornflower, which immediately makes me want to run out because some cornflowers grow in the foodway, and also it's visible on azurite, which I don't own. So that's the resilient. Then for joy, I got a celandine green, which I think really went with this area right here. Celandine green is a compound of verdigris green and ash gray. Again, fits. Was considering that. The animal they have here, visible on the wings of the Glyphodes margaritaria. So the one all the way at the top here. And then also is visible on the reverse of the leaves of colt's foot. The mineral celandine green is visible on the barrel in the second row, second from the left, and the white, it is embedded in the white topaz. Alright, I'll find it. The next one is the, what is it called? Campanula purple. Here we go. Campanula purple, which is mostly just this little area here of the card, and it's ultramarine blue and carmine red, about equal parts of each, and is this characteristic color, which I like because we've got a little red here, we got some blue in the sky, and so there should be some purple, which also fits our whole thing here. And you can find it, it seems, it's visible on the wings of the Camberwell Beauty, which is a butterfly that does look gorgeous, and on the petals of the peach lead bellflower on fluorite. So that's the Campanula purple, and definitely last but not least, the Aurora red. I think, no, okay. Picking which red was a big deal for me, but this kind of sunsetty color that's in the sky and then reflected a little bit on the wet sand there is, I felt, Aurora, closest to Aurora red, a tile red with a little arterial blood red and a slight tinge of carmine red. I love these names. So the animal, you can find it on the vent coverts, or the feathers around the cloaca of the great spotted woodpecker, and also visible on the skin of an apple, and on the orpiment. I'm not sure what an orpiment is though, so, but you can see a bit here. Last but not least, we have our logic card, the Queen of Wands. And this was, you know, all about the reds and oranges. So first up, I'm just gonna go straight for it. Scarlet Red. I was just immediately like, it's hard. I'm very biased towards this particular shade of red, as you can see, but that's okay. Like, I double and triple checked. So Scarlet Red is arterial blood red with a little gamboge yellow, which is a scarlet ibis mark on the head of a red grouse. Also, you can find it on the large oriental poppy, the red parts of a red and black Indian peas, and light red cinnabar. Hi guys, so due to my forgetfulness, I didn't do the last two colors. The first is familiar, the orpiment orange, back again, so you can see that connection with the joy card in particular. But this is a characteristic color. Is about equal parts gamboge yellow, which we'll talk about in a second, and arterial blood red. And you can find this in the neck ruff of the golden pheasant there. Also, the belly of the warty newt. The vegetable, you can find it on visible on the petals of the guardian nasturtium, which is a really popular flower. And the mineral it's visible on is carbonate of lime, which you wouldn't think from that name. If you're wondering, like, where do I see this? In the queen card, I'm thinking her skin, like her face and arms, but also the background of her throne, and somewhat in the cheetah. But that's not the only color in the cheetah. The other color is the Dutch orange, and this is the closest I can get to that brighter yellow. It's the orange yellow of Werner. It's a gamboge yellow with some carmine red in it, and from Nature's Palette, the animal, you can find it on the crest feathers of the golden crest. It's also visible on the seed pod of the European spindle. Gotta look close for that one. And as far as the mineral, the Dutch orange is visible on the orpiment. So, yeah, like how you find these colors in nature versus in art, essentially, kind of, I think, adds to the whole interpretation. I think it fits if having some connection to those plants or crystals or whatever have you, or animals would be an interesting thing. If I had an animal deck, I would totally try that. Matching plants and animals and crystals. I don't have a crystal deck either, but I do have crystals. So, yeah, this is the end of the reading. Why did it take this long? I don't know. Maybe I just talked too much. That's gotta be it. Okay. Thank you guys for watching. I will attempt to get to the other 3 spreads at some point. I haven't even watched that video by Christina's yet. So it is what it is. Like this video if you liked it. Subscribe if you are new. Hit the notification bell so you know when the next video is coming. I think before the next Exploring Color and Tarot video, there will be my aspirational tarot tag, which is kind of going to be my sort of mid-year check-in as well. So look forward to that. Links in the description to the decks and the books that I've mentioned. And 10% off discount code to my Etsy shop where I make all natural bath and body products with magical and mundane purposes. And I offer readings with tarot and oracle cards. And if you would like me to do one with either of these decks, to purchase. Links to my Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, Instagram and Facebook if you would like to follow me anywhere else. Also, my Patreon account where I offer exclusive content. So do check that out. And guys, thank you as always so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye.